Turnbuckle Plus, the new pod order. BTT Plus. Yeah, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Plus. Oh, it's extra content right here, chicos. Think about it. BTT Plus, taking over the pod game. Live Q&As, watch-alongs, new shows. BT, is that okay, Big Tommy? Enter the war room, Turnbuckle style. Plus, it's the new way. We call it BTT Plus. The genesis has begun. The beginning of the new pod or BTT. Everybody wants to know what to do next. Well, just scan the code. The pod revolution starts now. The preceding announcement has been paid for by Behind the Turnbuckle Plus, new pod order.
Oh, do we have a lot to talk about tonight? What's good, everybody? Welcome into The Last Word. We are live on Stadium every single Monday night. I am the coach. We are part of the Behind the Turnbuckle, BTT universe. We're coming off the Royal Rumble. We're coming off a Monday Night Raw. We're going to break it all the way down as CM Punk tonight and Liv Morgan punch their ticket to the Elimination Chamber in 3 weeks. Now, as always, we got brand new sponsors. What a shock. Tonight, it's all about Mando and shopmando.com. They sent me the starter pack. I got to tell you right now, it's right here. You got your deodorant. You got your in the tube deodorant. Then you got 2 free things. How about the body wash? How about the deodorant wipes? And then the cleansing thing. Now, use the promo code EXPLODES, and we're going to give you $5 off. That's the equivalent to 40% off your starter pack. And I'm telling you, get rid of the funk. And in pro wrestling, there's a lot of funk. Now, I got the best damn crew in the game. If you want to be a part of the show, you can do that via a super sticker. My man Ryan in the chat. Jay needs a hot hip-hop single. You're damn right he does. And he needs some other things. We got a lot to talk about as the winner shocked the world 60-1, winning the Royal Rumble, and Charlotte Flair gets it done on the women's side. Let's bring in my 3 favorite pro wrestling minds in the business. And do not forget, if you want to buy your favorite WWE merchandise, the link is in the description, or you can use the QR code and get it done. Now, my crew is everywhere. Where do we stop? Who's got something on in the background? Who's got something on in the background? I'm hearing it. Raise your hand and own it. First and foremost, our numbers guy, Rafael Esparza, is live from the Super Bowl tonight in the Big Easy. Rafael, you're ending your day with us. How about that?
I know. It's lucky that shopmando.com is underneath my name. I can use that right now because I ran here to be on the show. So I couldn't. I needed to take my lumps, but I also needed to give some lumps back. We'll discuss why I want to give some lumps back sooner or later.
We're going to get to that. Now, she was on site at the Royal Rumble on Saturday night. If you saw her IG page, you saw her bragging. She predicted accurately. And we have a little something around here, Gabby, that we call the first 15 seconds to the person that deserves it. I'm just going to sit back and let you cut a promo on Rafael, because not only did you show up, but you showed out. The 15 seconds is yours.
So there's not much to say besides you're welcome, Rafael. Not only did I call it correctly, the person you picked didn't even show up. So I call that a win with a capital W, a capital I, and a capital N at the end of it. Period, blank, the end. I don't even want to hear it from you, because if she was in there and there was some kind of beef, whatever happening, then this could have been an interesting conversation. But she wasn't there, so I just won and you just lost, point blank. And if you say anything, it's an excuse, and that's what losers say, and I'm over it, and we're done.
Well, in my world, the gambling world, the sports world, the world that we live in now, that is called a push that you got, because my girl was not there.
Rafael,
yeah.
I would just
no.
eat it.
No.
You don't get 15 seconds, Rafael. I do, because I won. You lost.
Yeah, you know the rules, Rafael. You don't get to respond to the 15 seconds. We'll have yours in promo school coming up in about 30 minutes here on the show. Now,
I ran here for nothing.
This final man, over 32 years inside of the WWE, his mind for the wrestling business is second to none. Big Tommy C. Good evening, sir.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Gabby. Hello, Rafi. I hope you're okay, Raf. And boy, Coach, we have a lot to get over tonight. including the Rumble, tonight's Raw. So I'm handing it off to you to drive the bus and lead us there, brother.
All right, so you know where we're going to start. We're going to start where they ended on Saturday night, and that's with Jey Uso shocking the world. Raphael, you made the odds at sports books around the world, but I'm not starting. I'm starting with Gabby because you were there. Jey Uso 60-1. You heard Michael Cole say one of the biggest upsets in the history of the WWE, but now you got to press it forward. And tonight he comes out. It was 8:13 before he said a word, and I don't know if he forgot or he was soaking it in, but I was like, let's get to it. What did you make of how they pushed Jey Uso forward tonight? Because he's got to take another step if he wants to be on that superstar level.
I absolutely loved it. You could hear the shock, the energy in that, like in the arena when Cena fell because he was hanging and you didn't know what was going to happen. Literally everybody, I looked around and people's mouths dropped because of the shock of it. I think that his promo tonight, the emotion that it hit when he had tears in his eyes, it actually resonated with me. And I'm not an emotional person. I have a little bit of a black heart and I got emotional watching it. I thought it was amazing. Not only did he come out and yeet to his entrance, he stopped and he got it to go again because that's how much the crowd loves him. There's been a lot of hate about him lately saying he didn't deserve it. I think he deserved it. And I absolutely loved it. And I thought it was awesome.
Now, I know the crowd was into it, but Tommy, there's being into it and there's getting the show going. And this is always what they hype. Oh, the crowd is hyped. They're yeeting for 8 minutes. But I want to see him start to own his promos. I said this a week or two ago that his entrance is longer than his promos. If he wants to be on the Roman Reigns, the Cody Rhodes, that level, he's got to make me believe in him that he can carry this company. Do you believe in him right now?
Well, Coach, when you had me on Friday on Coaching Company, I questioned whether he had enough star power to carry one of those two nights of Cody and Jay instead of Cody and Roman. And yes, he needs to pick up his promo game big time. He stopped for a long time. He just looked lost at one point. Look, I've been ringside a long time, and I've seen a lot of guys cut a lot of promos. I'm seriously thinking he got lost and he forgot his promo and he had to set and reset to get ready to say what he had to say. So the cue points come when Gunther comes in the ring. He needs to pick up his promo game big time here. I love the yeet and stuff, but now they're putting you on another level, and that level is Cody, Roman, Cena, and now you got to carry the ball and you got to run with it big time.
You can't be a one-trick pony. If you want to be, I go back, Raphael, to The Rock, to Stone Cold Steve Austin. He wasn't just Stone Cold. He went to the what's. He just kept getting his game. And he started tonight in his promo. And I know that you're running around interviewing Patrick Mahomes and hanging out with the big stars down there at the Super Bowl. But the one thing he didn't do was tell me why he not only deserves it, but what he's going to do. And Gunther comes out, and I'm sorry, but Gunther right now is not an entertaining star that I want to put up against Jey Uso. Why do you think, Raphael, at 60-1 and all those stars in the Royal Rumble, they decided to hand the ball to him?
Yeah, I'm completely shocked that they handed the ball, even if they knew that he was going to go against Gunther, because Gunther just takes away his pop right now, if that's the match. I was doing a couple of shows today, and we were talking about wrestling, and they asked me, does Jey Uso's 60-1 win bigger than Brock Lesnar losing or beating Undertaker in WrestleMania? Which one's the bigger shock and awe? I still think it's Brock winning against Undertaker. They all disagreed. And it was a younger crowd I was talking to today, so I guess they probably don't realize that. They all said Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble is the biggest thing they've ever seen in WWE. So they're all pumped for it. I just think it's bad placement if they're going against Gunther. I think that's going to suck all the wind and all the energy that he has going right now.
And Gabby, let me come back to you because you were there. And I think sometimes the WWE gets lost in the reaction to guys and they stop trying to push the storylines forward. If you don't have a great storyline, then you're going to fall off the cliff very, very quickly. What do you think Jey Uso needs to do moving forward? He's got 3 months. I cannot imagine they're going to put him as a final match on one of the nights of WrestleMania. Do you?
Honestly, if you're talking about the emotion of the fans, then it can be done if the story is correct. I really do think that. I know that sounds a little crazy right now, but I feed off emotion because that's how I like to watch pro wrestling. I don't have your kind of experience. I don't have Tommy's experience or even Raphael's in, you know, maybe was he nervous, whatever, because I watched that promo tonight and I saw it very differently than you guys did. I saw it as, wow, he was so emotional. He couldn't even catch his breath. And him talking about being in the business for 15 years. And like, let me fast forward to what I did with my career in the bloodline. And I didn't believe in myself enough to be a singles champion. Makes me believe in him to be a singles champion because I relate to those kinds of things. So maybe I see it a little bit differently, but I do believe in him. And everyone being angry that it wasn't Cena that won and it was so shocking. Cena doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble to get a match at WrestleMania and have it mean something. Jay does. And why not let it be his time? We still have some time to build up to it. I believe it can happen. And I want to believe in it because I believe in Jay and I like him a lot.
The way that they ended up doing it, and there's a lot of rumors going around, Tommy, that after the Rumble on Saturday night, that Drew McIntyre, who we all love and we all believe in, and this guy should be a top 2 or 3 superstar in the business, he wasn't even, unless I missed it, I watched the whole show. Drew McIntyre wasn't even there tonight. So I tend to believe that he was pissed off for somebody going into business for himself. So when you're pushing it forward, and I was in 2 Royal Rumbles, they told us after we were done, how do you take your own storyline forward? Well, how do we not move forward without a Roman Reigns? And we're going to talk about the Legends in 35 minutes, but no Drew McIntyre tonight. Seth didn't work tonight. He's got a match coming up in a couple of weeks. There was a lot of guys I wanted to see that I simply did not see on the show tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Drew himself. I mean, what does this guy have to do to get into a main event for a championship match? I just don't understand. He's got all the goods. He can cut a promo. He's a heel. He can work in the ring, and this is where you get stuck when you have a guy like Gunther, who's the champ. He jumps in Jey Uso's face and he says, "Well, if we're going to go at it one more time, I'm going to be all over you every day." This storyline, and you said it, Coach. They got 3 months. They better pick up this storyline big time like last year, because last year you had pros doing the storyline and you were riveted every week watching what Rock was going to do, Roman and Cody, through social media, through the show, any way possible to elevate that storyline. I want to see them elevate, and it looks like it's going to be Gunther and Jay at WrestleMania the way this is being played out, right? I mean, unless I'm wrong, it could be Cody, but I think it's going to be Gunther and Jay. Man, and they've gone at it 3 times already or twice already, and Jay has lost. So Jay could play the part as, I'm coming for you. Let's do this, but you have to have some sort of storyline.
All right, speaking of storyline, I got to come back to Gabby because you were there and you saw the Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. How in the world do they even think about bringing Kevin Owens out tonight at the end of Raw when he takes one of the worst bumps we've ever seen and his body was all twisted up and everything? I just they don't think about the details. Kevin Owens should not have shown his face tonight. What was that?
That was actually insane when I saw him. It took me a second because I really thought it was ending after the match with Sammy and Punk. And
I turned it
then
off. Yeah.
yeah, and then he came out and I was like, didn't he just like die? Did he die and come back to life? Because that match, the reaction to what had happened in the arena was like, holy shit. Like that was an epic match. And it almost takes away from how good it was because now we see him on Monday and it's kind of like, oh, okay, did it really mean anything? Or did it even hurt as much as it looked like it did? Like it kind of sucks that they did that. I'm sure they did that for a reason with him coming back and in what he did. But for sure, I'm a little let down that happened because he shouldn't have shown his face at all tonight. You're 100% correct. And we don't even know what's going on with Cody because he wasn't even mentioned at all tonight. So it's one of those things that's up in the air now. And we're kind of just sitting here like, well, we saw that crazy match. They put their bodies through it. And now Kevin's all of a sudden right back and we see him at the end of Raw. It doesn't make much sense to me.
Raphael, you were on the last word Saturday night. You got about 30 seconds right now with how he ended with Cody Rhodes and the fact that he didn't go to the press conference. We didn't push that story ahead. I don't want to hear that he's a SmackDown superstar. Tell me what happened to Cody.
Yeah, I think they just put him on a SmackDown, and we're going to see him on SmackDown. That's why he probably wasn't mentioned. But how does KO walk out today? Just shocks me because what we saw, I still thought his head was in the ladder. That's what I still picture him. How does he walk out today? Which just totally blows my mind.
It really, really was. All right, we're just getting started here on The Last Word. We are live every single Monday night. Thank you to the good people at Stadium and all of their platforms. You can find us on Amazon Prime Video, on DirecTV, on YouTube TV, Roku TV, and much, much more. When we come back on the other side, Gabby was there. She called the winner. But what does it mean now that Charlotte Flair has won the Royal Rumble, comes out tonight, and gets booed out of the building? We discuss that next. It's the last word, and we are live as a vibe on Stadium. Stick around. All right, you degenerates on our YouTube page. I continue to watch through. And Gabby, you sent in some pictures and videos. I want you to tell the good people at home, what was it like to be in the building Saturday night? Almost 70,000 people. I said there were times like the tag team match where they could have cared less, but when it was the hottest, what did you feel in there?
It was an amazing feeling. Like the energy was epic, and I will always say this: this was my first Royal Rumble that I've ever been to on site. I've been to Manias before, I've been to Raws and SmackDowns and stuff, but like this, and this is my favorite show, and this is why, because I feel like everyone's at the edge of their seat, kind of thinking about what legends are going to show up, who's going to pop in, what returns are there going to be. So it's just super exciting because you don't know what to expect. And everyone was just happy to be there. Like, I feel like it was a really good sense of people just being happy to be pro wrestling fans. And like, I didn't even tell you this and we hadn't talked about it, but like even the airport and like on my plane and like my plane ride home, everybody was there for WWE. Everybody was, they actually said on my plane on the way home, like, on like over the speakers, like the stewardess was like, and if you're here for WWE, like we love your titles, but if you could please put them somewhere to like I'm laughing because it's ridiculous. Like people are just walking around with these things. Everyone yeeted when my plane landed. Like the plane landed, instead of clapping, people just were yeeting. Okay.
Stop it. Stop it.
Wow.
Everyone yeeted.
Oh
And
my gosh.
this is insane. This is a community of people that get it. And I was just dying laughing because I'm like, I am now a part of it and it's insane to me as well.
It's my favorite night of the year. When they told me, Tommy, the first time they said, Coach, you're going to be in your first, and then I got to be in two. It was amazing because the choreography and 30 people trying to do all business at the same time. Yeah. It's the best night of the year, Tommy. You got about 20 seconds.
Yeah, man, I've been ringside for a lot of them. I remember the San Antonio one with Stone Cold Steve Austin going through there, being there for rehearsals, man. And these guys worked their butt off, especially guys like Patterson back in the day. They couldn't lay out better matches than that. And I love the Rumble.
Yeah, I still owe Hardcore Holly a kick to the thigh. He almost literally kicked me out of the Royal Rumble. If you guys have ever been around Hardcore Holly, or you guys know who he is, maybe the most dangerous, scary man that's ever walked God's green earth. And he liked me. He liked me. We're back live in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is the last word live on Stadium all over this great country of ours. You can find us every single Monday night. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube page. We have 3 big shows: sports betting, pro wrestling, combat sports. We've got it all at the Behind the Turnbuckle YouTube page. All right, let's bring our crew back in. And we've talked about the men's Royal Rumble winner, but you called it. You're excited. You talk trash on Raphael, but now we got to talk about what it means, Gabby. And that's that Charlotte Flair, arguably the greatest female superstar of all time. She called herself tonight the greatest superstar of all time. She's one of the very few women to ever main event WrestleMania. She comes back after over a year on the shelf. And I think the idea was the promo was to start as a heel and then say, hey, this meant something to me. But the crowd wanted no part of it. What did you make tonight that the crowd absolutely booed her out of the building?
It's insane to me. I don't really understand it. Like you could actually see her trying to talk about, this is pro wrestling is my life and I have a passion for it and I love it. And this was the hardest year of my life, getting injured and trying to come back. And she comes back and immediately before she even talks, she's getting booed out of the building. And listen, she's supposed to be a heel. She's supposed to be hated. It makes sense. But what I don't understand this absolute hatred for her when she's so good and she elevates people that she's in the ring with and she's needed on this roster, because that energy on Raw tonight between her and Rhea and those reactions is some of the loudest and the most I've given a shit about someone being in the ring with Rhea on Raw since we've seen anything so far. So you let me know how that's bad for business, because it's not. Rhea is so over. Who else on that roster right now could go into WrestleMania with her and even make it an interesting match? There's not one person I can name for you, and that is why Charlotte Flair is needed back. And she said it herself, I'm going to go to NXT tomorrow. I'm going to go Friday and see Tiffy as well, see who inspires me the most, whatever it is. Because guess what? Charlotte Flair is needed to headline WrestleMania. She is needed for these matches. And guess what? These women want her there too. So stop hating on her because she's good. It's so annoying. There's
Well,
not anybody else doing it. Get over it.
But these are what the marks do, and this was like when I was there. You could here's the problem with marks is they go, and I already saw it in the chat. Oh, we're sick and tired of her. What? She's been gone for over a year. We have not
Right.
seen her for
Right.
a year. So Tommy, the Royal Rumble match, and I want to be as kind as I could possibly be. It really lacked energy because there's not 15 women that you can say win and you're going to care about them at WrestleMania. The men, oh, it was fire all night, but the women, when she came out, it was like another level, and the crowd really didn't give a shit about anybody but Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and maybe Liv, but she was one of the first two to go in. I agree with Gabby. The whole hating, but there's a way to boo a heel and to have Charlotte. And this is the one thing that I wish Charlotte would have worked on. It was not a great promo for her tonight. Let's just be honest. It was not a great promo. She repeated herself. And when you're a big time heel and you've won 14 championships, there's a way to say, I don't care about you. This meant something to me, Tommy, but I don't care about what you're saying right now because I'm so happy to be back. I wish you would have stuck with that.
Yeah, she should have stood there. I think she got a little lost, but I think the reaction of the crowd caught her big time and like, wow, they're really booing me. I've been gone over a year. I haven't hurt anybody. I come in, I win the Royal Rumble, and you're booing me because I'm so good. That is ridiculous. Look, the only other woman superstar I could probably put on her level and Rhea's level is Bianca. I think Bianca and Rhea could have a real banger of a match. But man, when you say Rhea and Charlotte at WrestleMania, that's another level stuff. Like we've been talking about, we're talking about the main event of the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania. And when they put you in that position, you're expected to carry the ball and run with it. And Charlotte can do that. I think she's a little conflicted about her character right now, the way the crowd is reacting to her. And we've only seen her twice. We've seen her Saturday night and we saw her tonight. Actually, Alexa Bliss got a bigger pop than Charlotte, and I was shocked at that.
She better call The Rock because The Rock went through this same thing when he came back a year ago, and they pivoted and they made it work. Raphael, let me come over to you. The lack of Becky Lynch, and we joke and we know that Gabby's talking trash and all that, but when we get down to serious business, they need Becky Lynch in this women's division. And the fact that she's not, if I'm Becky Lynch and I'm watching that Royal Rumble Saturday night, I'm just counting my money because if they're dumb enough to say they don't need Becky Lynch back after that Royal Rumble match, then the execs and Triple H don't know what they're doing. There's a severe lack of star power for the women. Do you agree?
100%. And I was hoping you guys were saying Becky came out today, and I can say, ooh, maybe some of my comeback of Gabby can go one-on-one with that when they say brought her back on Monday. But I'm going to jump back on what Gabby said today. We were booing her. I just came back from the Superdome, and they booed Patrick Mahomes. Sometimes people just hate the really good players. They booed Patrick Mahomes today. They booed Charlotte. You want why? Patrick Mahomes, best football player right now. Charlotte Flair, best female wrestler right now. Sometimes when you're the best, you get booed.
Tommy brought up Bianca Belair, and sometimes if you don't book Gabby, women or men in a certain way, the crowd does not give a damn. I said this for months that when they put Jade with her, that was going to bring her down, her personality, her charisma, her style. And when she came out at the Royal Rumble, nobody cared. And now she's stuck with Naomi. And I'm tired of them putting her into, and I guarantee you she's tired of it too. What do you make of how they've booked what I consider to be what could be a top 2 or 3 female superstar in the WWE?
Yeah, it's a shame because when Bianca was over, she was very damn over. Like she would come out, her music would hit, you would hear the little slap of her, braid, and it was like the pop was huge for her, and she's such a mega baby face. And now that whole storyline with Jade and Naomi, it's kind of fell through the cracks because Jade didn't even show up at Rumble. We don't even know what happened. Do we even really care anymore who attacked Jade? Because I really don't care. I don't give a shit at the end of the day. It's kind of lost in the sauce at this point. I think the best thing for Bianca is that she needs to go back to being. I think she's way more money being a singles on a singles run. They got to figure out what's going on with her and Naomi. I think maybe with a little bit of Jordan Grace hugging Naomi and Bianca getting pissed off, maybe they'll go that way with something like that. I don't really know, but we need Bianca back on her singles run because I don't even think we've ever gotten her and Rhea in that massive kind of match before, because I remember watching her reality show and she said she wanted it to be her against Rhea and it never happened. So that would be super interesting. They have a lot of history together and it would be something I would watch at WrestleMania and be very happy about.
Can I just say this? And I don't want to be negative,
Oh God.
but when I oh my God. When I listen to Rhea, and I know she's over like Rover, I know she is, but somebody's got to work with a dialect coach with her, because when she's in there cutting a promo, it's like nails on a chalkboard the way she says every word in the English vocabulary. Does it bug anybody else the way that Rhea Ripley talks? Anyone?
Yeah, me. We've talked about this a million times on our show, Coach. Somebody needs to sit back and say, "Hey, chill." Nobody, you don't have to scream at the crowd anymore. You don't need to do that. Just talk to everybody. You will get your point across. But when you scream and then you become with that Australian accent, it's very annoying, coach. And I agree 100%. And we talked about this before, but seems like somebody in the back is not listening at all, because you don't have to scream to get your point across. Ask Roman Reigns, he'll tell you.
Well, the chat is agreeing with me completely. Raphael, though, let's end this segment on a positive. Give me a name from the female Royal Rumble match that you thought, because this is about a night, and for anybody who doesn't understand, being in the Royal Rumble is about being able to win even when you lose. Who did you thought had at least a moment that they won in that match outside of Charlotte Flair?
The biggest pop, Alexa Bliss. I mean, I still can't believe the pop that she got when she came back with the Stranger Things lettering on her, with her name popping up to her jacket with the fiendship on there. I can't believe how the crowd just reacted when she came out, and she loved it. I think she was more surprised at the pop she got. So I'm saying Alexa Bliss, even though she didn't win it and got exit out early, she won the Royal Rumble.
Well, I'll say this too, Gabby. I'm going to come over to you. And a lot of people call me a Nia Jax hater. And when you become a one trick pony, I'm going to call it like I see it. And I would love for them to if Nia Jax is going to come into the Royal Rumble match and be a killer and be the beast that they want her to be, I'm tired of the laughing. How about you come in and take your job seriously? And they do the whole thing where they jump on her. She goes, "Rawr!" How about we stay serious instead of laughing at people, pointing at people, and then all of a sudden, oh, now I get tossed out. I want them to severely change that character for something they've never done with her. And maybe it'll start to not annoy me so much. You?
I mean, I feel like a lot of things annoy you, but I will say I will say, I think it's just kind of her shtick in a way, and like it doesn't bother me as much because maybe because I am a girl, girls that piss me off the most are the girls that do the mean shit and laugh about it. Like it actually makes me angrier. If you're all about business and you do that kind of stuff and you're not laughing, you're I get what you're saying. It pisses me off more that she laughs, but it would be scarier if she didn't laugh. But also, if they're trying to make, and because I know Tommy had mentioned this, I don't even know if it was before the break or not, if they're trying to make the history of Tiffany possibly with Nia and that be something happening at WrestleMania, they're going to have to make Nia a little bit different because people don't like her because they're annoyed by her as opposed to being scared of her. And they should be scared of her because of the strength that she has and what she does.
Yes.
And I feel like they're not scared. They're just pissed off at her and she's annoying and she's mean. But she needs to get a little bit scarier because she has that in her. And that's what I would want to see moving forward to really make people be sold on her.
Thank you. And she's been around enough, Tom. You got about 30 seconds.
Yep.
She's been around enough that if they flipped her back to, and somebody in the chat said she was over as a heel, yes, but make her an even nastier heel than she's ever been. She's pissed off that all these new girls and all these that's what I would love to see. And just say, you know what? I'm going to be a buzzsaw and just ball over everybody in the women's division. I could get into that. You, Tommy?
Yeah, I can get into that, but I'm going to give you a long shot, coach. Sonya Deville, people are sleeping on her, right? They got her in this goofy PFC, the goofiest tag team name I ever heard in my life. She has a great look. She's a worker in the ring. She can cut a promo, but they just put her in the back weeds with Baszler and Starks, or whoever that other one is. Sonya Deville could be a legitimate top woman superstar.
See, Tom, you're going to get me in trouble now because now you're going to make me comment on the other two in that. And what I'm not going to do it. We've got to work on the style. We got to work on the style. We got to work on the style. The style with the rest of the PFC or whatever they call them is absolutely atrocious.
More
Shayna
negative.
Baszler, I mean, let's stop with that. Let's
Yeah,
stop with that.
I agree.
Stop with that. Oh my gosh. Oh, when they came running down, I said, please, please. Producer man just said, don't. All right.
You
we
didn't
come
like the
back from
face
this-
paint?
No.
The face paint at the Rumble?
It's time to go to promo school. When we come back, we're halfway home live on Stadium. All right, you degenerates out there tonight. We are brought to you by Deemer Box, the most hardcore, filthy. Look at this. One of my best buddies bought this. Deemerbox.com. I know that Gabby, you are you like to go camping and fishing. You're an outdoorsman. Yes.
Can you tell?
Yeah, I can. I mean, you scream this. Go to
Yes.
deemerbox.com and use the code Coach10. You get 10% off site wide. So other things that happened at the Royal Rumble, and Gabby, I'll start with you. The tag team match. I firmly believe that the night was like 4.5 hours. You were there. It's like nauseingly long. We didn't need the tag team match. We need the 2 matches and the ladder match. That would have been plenty. Did you feel that there in the building?
1,000%. Unfortunately, that was when people were going to the bathroom, buying the stuff at the concession stands and walking around. And I hate to say those kinds of things, but it was packed on the concourse when that match was going on. And something else that pissed me off, like that match you threw in on Royal Rumble, but you couldn't find a match for Rhea. You couldn't find a match for Tiffany. You couldn't find a match for some of these champions to build up on and have a match like that on a big show like this instead of that kind of tag team match. It was something that I was a little upset about, and I don't really think the fans were into it either, unfortunately.
They weren't, and they made it, Raphael, a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Yeah.
On top of that. What are we doing?
Yeah, for the betting world, people wanted refunds. We didn't know we were betting 2 out of 3 falls. Either did I, so I had to look at that one. But yeah, 2 out of 3. Give me a break. I could have probably had dinner and then came back and watched the end of it.
Tommy, both Royal Rumble matches lasted over an hour and a half. Went from like first person to it being finished. It used to be when I was in it 2 minutes in between. Thank God they went down to like 90 seconds. You're like, holy cow. They've got to figure this thing out because a 4.5 hour, 5 hour night, and then you had a 2 hour pre-show. No wonder people are dead by the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Coach. You called it, man. When you do stuff like this, in TV, you gotta move, man. You gotta keep things moving. And you're right. That everybody thought that tag match was gonna be a banger. It wasn't, as everybody said. They thought it was gonna bring the house down. It was gonna be the match of the night, and it was none of that at all. And then they threw a curveball at you and bringing out Street Profits. It was unbelievable.
We're back in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're halfway home, having a glorious night recapping the Royal Rumble and also Monday Night Raw. Kind of more the Rumble than we are Raw because nothing really progressed tonight other than the fact that CM Punk beat Sami Zayn. Pretty good main event, if I'm being honest. And then Liv Morgan had a pretty good match, too. They both qualified for the Elimination Chamber coming up in 3 weeks. Excuse me. We know that John Cena will be in it. We're talking about the Legends coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. But every single week, my crew, Gabby, Tommy, Raphael, whoever's here, they like to get things off their chest. In wrestling, we call it a promo. So let's go to promo school. All right, Big Tommy, I'm going to start with you tonight because you're going to talk about a guy who has perhaps the worst punches in the business today, but you're not talking about his punches. Where are you going? Who are you cutting a promo on today, Big Tommy C?
My promo's on Seth freaking Rollins. Let's go back to Saturday night, right? Who eliminates Seth freaking Rollins? It was CM Punk, right? That was 48 hours ago, right? We're come to Raw. He has his entrance and he is happy as can be. Why are you happy coming into the ring? You're dressed in this crazy outfit you had on. You know what I would have did? I would have faded up, him standing in the ring and him starting off saying, I'm pissed off. I'm tired of this. Punk's doing stuff to me like this and that, but he's happy. He's happy. He loves to hear people sing his song. That's not realism. That doesn't sell the fans on what Seth Rollins really is. Then he brings Sammy out, right? He brings Sammy out, and then he's hurrah Sammy. You know what the best part of it was? It was Michael Cole saying, this guy at Rumble was ballistic, and now he's Mr. Happy. That's some crazy stuff. I don't know if people talk to him about this, but why would you come out happy after you got eliminated at the Royal Rumble by your nemesis, CM Punk? I just don't understand what his thinking is. I get the music, I get people, singing with him and everything, but it has to come down of realism. If it's me, I'm freaking pissed, man. And I'm talking and I'm telling everybody where I want to go. Punk better watch out. I'm coming for you. But no, he was Mr. Happy tonight, coach.
All right. Well, it's all about details, and you don't even have to be a genius. I mean, he's been around for well over a decade. He needs to be thinking about this kind of stuff. And tonight, he just did. It was a complete disconnect. When you're tearing out Roman Reigns on the outside, you're fighting with CM Punk. There is no way you're coming out. And then he didn't even talk about the Rumble to the very last thing in the promo before he brought in Sami Zayn. That should have been the first thing of why he was pissed off. Pay attention to details. Seth Rollins, you're better than that. All right. Now, I love when Gabby cuts me a promo. I have no idea where she is going tonight. Gabby, who are you cutting a promo on?
I think I got to be cutting a promo on my guy Logan Paul tonight because the man comes out number 30 at the Royal Rumble. You had to hear in the arena when people are like, "Oh, who's coming out at 30? Is it Randy Orton? Are we getting a return? Are you whatever?" And it's fucking Logan Paul, who everybody hates so much. And he comes out. Not only does he come out, he eliminates AJ Styles, who everybody's excited to see. He's just so hated, pure hatred for this man. We see him again on Raw tonight. He gets the distraction, helps the New Day so that they beat Rey Mysterio, who he has to have a match against next week to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. He is just hitting on the best cylinders as being this massive heel. He is just doing it correctly. It's so natural for him. Everybody hates him for the right reasons. He's not getting booed just because he's getting booed like poor Charlotte that we're talking about. He's getting booed because they just hate everything about him. And because of Logan Paul is why we see things happening like what we saw with I Show Speed, who literally that bump he took at the Rumble was one of, I had friends that were talking to me about it today, sending me the video that don't watch pro wrestling, coach. And that's what is needed for these things. 300 million views on the clip of Braun Breaker literally snapping that poor guy in half in the middle of the ring. It was one of the holy shit moments I've ever seen in person in my life. And it's amazing. And as much as you hate these influencers, they get things over. And this is what was needed. And Logan Paul opened the door for that, in my opinion. And he's fucking awesome. And I love that guy.
He really, really, really is, and I tip my cap to I Show Speed. He's couldn't if you looked at Logan Paul's Instagram page when I Show Speed got tossed by Otis onto the announce table, he took a huge slice out of his leg. I'm surprised he didn't break his arm because when you take a spear. And the worst one I ever took was Goldberg. You got to get your body completely around and get your arms out to the side and let them take your midsection. He did none of that because he's not a trained performer. And so my guess is if he comes out and said, I have a broken arm, I would absolutely understand that. But tip of the cap, and hopefully they give him a nice little bump. He should get a nice little check for that from the WWE if he did 300 million plus
Insane.
views on that. Absolutely insane. All right, I'm going to cut my promo tonight on the creative team, on Triple H, on the what are you going to do now? Because you have John Cena come out at the press conference and for no reason whatsoever says, I'm going to the Elimination Chamber and I'm coming to win. I've earned it. 23 years of loyalty. I've earned it. I get that. And he's well over 40 years of age. I get that too. But guess who's never main evented WrestleMania like John Cena has done on several occasions? CM Punk. And you can say what you want, but since he came back from AEW, he has been a model citizen and he has gotten Drew McIntyre over. He's gotten Seth Rollins over. And if anybody has earned it or deserves it, it's CM Punk. So what are you going to do now, WWE? You got Elimination Chamber. Both dudes are in that match. Only one can win and go to WrestleMania. You've got to decide. Would you rather see John Cena get number 16, 17, whatever he's at? Or would you rather see CM Punk headline WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes, which something 5 years ago when they were both in AEW, we never thought we would see. But you've done it to yourself. Where are you going to go now? That is the question. Raphael, let me come over to you. Who do you think ultimately they're leaning towards when it comes to? Because to me, it's no contest with no Drew McIntyre there tonight. He's either in the doghouse or he's just pissed. So to me, it's got to be about CM Punk and John Cena. Where do you think they'll head with Elimination Chamber?
I think CM Punk. I think they want to see the AEW rematch of CM Punk and Cody Rhodes in WrestleMania. I think that's what they're going to lean into. But I feel bad for the. Well, I shouldn't feel bad. You're 100% correct. They're in that situation because they're the ones that put themselves in that situation. So I'm hoping to see another organization rematch of Cody and CM.
The other thing tonight, Gabby, that we didn't hear anything about, we didn't see, we didn't hear from, and this is why the Kevin Owens thing is so crazy. Cody won the match. Cody was standing on the announce table up like that, but yet Cody was so hurt he couldn't go to the press conference. But the guy that he slammed through the ladder shows up ttonight on Monday Night Raw. Have you heard anything about the nature of the injury to Cody Rhodes, like the real nature of it?
No, I mean, we haven't heard anything. So I'm curious to see what they're going to say about that moving forward. He is on SmackDown, so hopefully Friday there'll be an update. Maybe they'll do breaking. Nick Aldis will break some news ahead of SmackDown. Like they like to do on social media or something like that and talk about it. But we don't know. And like you said, it is wild that Kevin Owens showed up on Raw tonight. I'm still shocked by it. It doesn't make any sense. He shouldn't have been on the show, but. I don't know, and I'm curious to see what they're going to say.
Tommy, somebody in the chat said, "Don't you forget that Chad Gable got shot in the head and
Yeah.
showed up the next week." I think sometimes, and this was an issue when I was there. When you're on 52 weeks a year, and you're like, if you guys met the writing team you'd be amazed. You'd be like, wait, that kid's 22, that kid's 23. They write like they're writing a movie. Like, oh, when the movie's over, you go to the next movie. But Tommy, this is a continuation of a storyline. And how in the world Kevin Owens shows up tonight? How in the world? And how about Adam Pearce saying, "Oh, the transfer window's closed, but I got one deal done before"? It's not real, Adam. It's not real. The transfer portal window's not real. Stop it. So Cody Rhodes is a SmackDown guy, Tommy, but you can't talk about him tonight. It's got to be the biggest stories in the WWE, and Cody Rhodes is arguably one of the top 2 or 3 stories right now.
Yeah, and if you don't bring Cody on tonight or even talk about it, that's ridiculous. Jackie Raymond reported it right after the Rumble's over. I don't care if he's on SmackDown. I don't care if he's on NXT. He's the champ. He's the flag bearer of this company, and you can't even talk about Cody Rhodes tonight. We're going to wait until Friday. And it's all about the realism, right? KO comes out tonight and he pile drives Sami Zayn. The guy got his head put through a ladder. He's bleeding profusely. He's like laid out. We all thought he was dead, but he's not dead enough to come back out and pile drive Sami Zayn, is he? That's what we talk about. It's the little details of telling a story. Why would Kevin Owens be there if he was that hurt? It just makes no sense at all. Why are they not reporting on Cody when he is the champ? He is the flag bearer of this company. It's crazy.
It really, really is. And Raphael, as we head now, we know that 3 weeks leading up to the Royal Rumble, that the ratings on Netflix, they were falling off a cliff. We're talking 37%, another 25%. So now they, for some reason, made WrestleMania the end of April, not the beginning. So we got 3 full months. And I'm going to be very, very interested to see. And we've got it coming up in about 5 minutes. Without some of these stars showing up on Raw, how do they maintain this momentum that they have coming out of the Royal Rumble when a lot of these guys are either shooting the movie in Hungary, not showing up because of storyline? I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think they're really going to struggle. That's my gut.
Yeah, we talked about this last week that maybe the Raw would be really a good one to try to get the ratings up. Maybe Becky would have came back or something to get the ratings up, and it looked like it was a complete dud of what I've been seeing and hearing and reading about. So I'm a little bit shocked on what they are doing over for Netflix. But maybe the WWE writers should write maybe movies for like Halloween, because everyone comes back in the movies of Halloween and Scream movies. Maybe that's what the writers are doing.
That's very, very true. All right, a good vibe so far tonight. Still to come here on the show. What about the Legends? What is the immediate future going to be for them? We're talking John Cena. What's next for him? We're talking Roman Reigns. They said tonight that we're not going to see him for a while. What? It's the road to WrestleMania. And what is true about the rumors we're hearing about Drew McIntyre? And did somebody really go into business for themselves at the Royal Rumble? I hope not, but it certainly feels that way. It's the official start to the road to WrestleMania, and we could not be more excited. It's the last word, and we are live on Stadium. All right, you OGs out there, I do want to say a quick thank you. Our live number tonight is absolutely insane for those of you watching on our YouTube channel, on social media. So thank you very much for that. Gabby, let me come back to you, because as we now push forward, and you said how much you enjoyed the Royal Rumble, in person, what do you think was the one thing that surprised you the most, that maybe somebody at home watching right now who's never been to a show, that you would say, you got to go because of this?
I just always say this. I think I'll say what I experienced my first ever live show that I think people at home, if you've never been to one, you don't get to experience. And that's like the sounds of them hitting the ring and how hard they hit it is kind of like a crazy thing. So like you think you watch these injuries at home and it's like, oh, it is whatever it is. But like I think you don't understand the impact of it until you're there and the whole crowd is reacting to something with you. It's like the emotion. It's hard to explain. And it's crazy. I sound like a fangirl like talking about it, but a lot of things don't get over on TV because I had people texting me like, oh, when Nikki Bella showed up at number 30 for the Women's Royal Rumble, they were like, is that even a big deal? And I said, yeah, the crowd popped huge for Nikki while being there.
Really?
Yes. Yes. It was, people were very excited to see Nikki Bella. And I think people at home didn't realize that people were actually that hyped to see her, but it was a loud pop for Nikki. And so everyone's saying like, oh, nobody really cared. It's like, no, they cared. So, you know, people that are sitting at home that were like, it's not a big deal. Like that was a good number 30 for them to have. Everyone thought it was going to be Becky. And they were like, if it's not Becky, people are going to be upset. They weren't that upset to see Nikki. And she looked phenomenal.
Oh, I mean, I've always said I traveled with Cena for a while, I would say. And I told him this. I was honest. I said, I cannot believe, you make her sign a 62-page thing just to live in your house. And then he called off the wedding. I mean, there are guys that would cut off their left leg to marry Nikki Bella. And
no, didn't she call it off? She called it off.
No.
I don't know. That's what I watched. I watched Total Bellas. Just saying.
Yeah, Total Bellas did tell the story that he called it off. It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen.
I thought it was funny that the two returns were them, by the way. I was like, that's got to be an interesting reunion backstage.
All right, we're back live in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It's the last word live on Stadium and all of the platforms. You can find us on Amazon Prime, YouTube TV, Direct TV, Roku TV, and I got the best damn crew. Gabby's here, Big Tommy C, Raphael is here. We were just talking at the break about the return of Nikki Bella and some of the other OGs. Do you guys know who the first person was? And I still am blown away. And John Cena's got a new relationship. Obviously, Nikki went on to have a child with her relationship. But do you know who the first person was when they got engaged at WrestleMania? And I brought Sports Center, I guess I just gave it away, to WrestleMania, the first person to interview them after they got engaged in the ring at WrestleMania. Did you guys know that's me?
That's Jonathan Coachman.
That was me. That was me.
Hannah Storm.
That's hilarious. There are still there were so many relationships when I was there, and everybody thinks, Coach, who did you date when you? I never dated a WWE diva. It was just everybody thinks, oh, there's all these beautiful women around. Yes, but it's kind of like Gabby when you have like a brother. When you're around somebody 4 or 5 days a week, I just never felt like I wanted to date somebody that I was around 4 or 5 days a week. It just never. But a lot of people did. A lot of people did.
I feel like it's easy to because you guys are around each other all the time.
It is easy to. And then the bad part is you're around each other all the time. You can't get away. And I was a party guy. Tommy knows this. I mean, me and Tommy were out on the road one time. No, we weren't. No, we never did that. One of these days when we have story time on the last word, I'm going to tell you a story. Gabby, Raphael, this is a true story. Gabby, let me ask you this.
Okay.
If you were stuck, let's say Arkansas. And you were stuck, and Tommy, don't interrupt my flow. And you were stuck in a snowstorm, a blizzard, and somebody else is paying for your drinks, and you could go nowhere for 2 or 3 days. Would you enjoy it and party with 50 people, or would you try to go planes, trains, automobiles to get back to Connecticut? Which would you do, Gabby?
You know I would enjoy it, Coach. That's basically my weekend every weekend, so I would 100%
Exactly.
enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not Big
Mhm.
Tommy C. No, 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 no. No, he was on I-70, then I-65, then the back roads of I-76. Anywhere but in the hotel drinking.
He
That's
didn't want
right,
to sleep in
Tommy.
a shed.
Yeah, that's right. Gabby, what he's
Hilarious.
not telling you was that he took off in Vince's plane, was eating steak and shrimp and champagne and
Oh.
listening to Kid Rock. Wow, we got this freak snowstorm in Little Rock, Arkansas, and the power went
Hey,
out in our
hey,
hotel.
hey,
Wow.
I had shows to get home for. I would have much rather stayed in Little Rock, but we were racing to the airport. True story. We had to take off before like 11:15. There was a
That's right.
deadline, or we were going to be stuck in Little Rock.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm 26, 27 years old. You think I wanted to be on a private jet eating steak and caviar? And, oh yeah, it was actually pretty good. All right, it was kind of fun, but man, that was our world back then. And then I traveled with the likes of John Cena, and then we were in a tables match, and he gave me 10 shots of Jack Daniels. He said, "Hey, coach, you took that bump like a real man." So I know John Cena like nobody else knows John Cena. So guys, and Gabby, as we move forward now, we're not going to see Roman Reigns, according to Michael Cole. Interesting thought process. And we're not going to see John Cena. He's going to be in Elimination Chamber, but he's going to Hungary to film a movie. Drew McIntyre doesn't even show up tonight. You got to believe that the physicality, Gabby, of the Elimination Chamber match, he's perfect for. So, what is the thought process with all of these legends? And we know they're not going to show up for at least a month.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little scary to think about because the Rumble, like you even mentioned, the men's Rumble over the women's was way more star power when it came to the men. It's going to rely a lot on CM Punk. It's going to rely a lot more on the Seth Rollins, like those kinds of guys now because you're missing out on a lot of these stars. I don't know. I'm still crossing my fingers and having hope for Drew McIntyre. It was Damian Priest that threw him out at the Rumble, so maybe we'll see him show up on Friday and want to kick the shit out of him, and then he's right back in the mix. And maybe we will end up seeing him in Elimination Chamber because I love Drew McIntyre. He's a monster of a man, and I want to see him in there with those big boys chopping some shit up. I like big meaty men just fighting each other. That's why I like the Elimination Chamber. But so I never say. I know you laugh every time I say that, but you never say never for Drew. I'm hoping we'll see him come back. You know, it was just Raw that we saw and we didn't see him. I'm hoping we see some things happen, but I'm not trying not to go into Elimination Chamber already upset because we only have a couple guys in it. So I'm going to wait to see all the guys before I go in thinking it's not going to be good, you know?
Okay. So, Tommy, we know it's going to be CM Punk and John Cena. And I feel like Cena's trying to develop some type of a character that we've never seen before. He's very serious. He said, "I'm not taking any questions," delivered a 3-minute promo that I absolutely loved. And he said, "Hey, I know the guys are going to slander my name because I'm going to shoot a movie. But when I come back, they're going to be on notice." Did you like the promo?
I thought his promo was. I liked it and I didn't like it, but just him to proclaim that he's going to be in Elimination Chamber and not talk to anybody about it because you've been there 17 years, you've been the champ here. I mean, there's protocol to do things, and I don't think just throwing your hat and look. Triple H ain't going to say no, but the way you got to go about it is, I think, it's a little different. And I think they're just going to have Cena just keep chasing after that 17th. Even if he's in Elimination Chamber, I think Punk is going to win Elimination Chamber. That's my own opinion, and go on to face Cody Rhodes.
So that would be CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. I know, Raphael, you've made the odds at a lot of global books, including mybookie.ag. Use the promo code BTT. We'll give you a 100% bonus up to $1,000. Who do you have as the betting favorite, Raphael, to have the last WrestleMania match for John Cena?
Oh, it's CM Punk, who was the betting favorite to win the Royal Rumble. So I'm going to put him in this one. But if you're missing those two big stars we're talking about, no one can probably carry it, and we can maybe forget about those two stars. Why don't you put Logan Paul in there? Bring his heat into the Elimination Chamber. Bring his hatred into the Elimination Chamber. He knocked out some guys out already. So I think maybe if you want to put some heat into Elimination Chamber, put him in there.
Wow, Gabby, there's going to be a lot of unhappy, egotistical wrestlers backstage if they lose the WrestleMania moment they've earned because Logan Paul hasn't been here. But damn it, I would be here for it. Logan Paul, what did John Cena say? I'm going to win number 17 so I can shake the hand of the man who's going to win 18. If Logan Paul's a full-time superstar, to me, there's nothing he can't do.
Agreed. I mean, we just saw him tonight, and now they said he's got that match against Ray. He could easily beat Ray to be in the Elimination Chamber. Why not shake things up a little bit? We know the universe loves it when you shake things up. We gave Jay Jay won the Rumble, and they're reacting great to it. So why not throw something else in the mix at this point and really piss some people off? I love to see it because I love when the audience freaks out and goes nuts all over social media. It's so much entertainment for me. Could you imagine, like if that's Logan Paul? Imagine the trolls on social media. Oh God,
I've
that'd be
never
so fun.
understood, and about one of the guys, Abbas says, Tommy tells the truth. I've never understood how wrestling fans, and I love that they care because I've always said I've got 2 kids because of WWE. I was in a lot of big matches because of WWE, but I've never understood people that it's life and death. That whatever happens on the show affects their lives. And Tommy, you were there when The Undertaker threw Mick Foley off. That's the most iconic moment in the history of the company. Does it amaze you when fans go, "This is everything"?
Yes, it does. I was there for it, coach. We saw it. We all saw it, and the whole spot was just crazy. And yes, it makes you sit there and think, what are they going to do next? And that's what they try to keep people going on. What's going to happen next here in the WWE? Just like you're talking about right now. Roman's out. This guy's out. Is Drew going to be an elimination chamber? Those are all the questions to be answered. But when you sit there and you watch this spot happen, it was incredible, and we couldn't move fast enough, Coach.
All right. We are live here every single Monday night, 11 p.m. Eastern time on Stadium. Don't forget, we have a live betting show, Coach and Company, every single weekday morning. We'll be live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time, getting you set for the Super Bowl. And also the Coach and Bro Show. Vince Russo, the legendary writer, right here on our YouTube page. Thank you all. We went over 15,000 subs last night, so we are growing very quickly, and we can't wait. Everybody, great job tonight. Well freaking done. Producer man, give me my one shot. There is only one thing left to do. It's time for you to go out into the world. Be kind to one another. Be nice to each other. And understand that pro wrestling is not life. For Big Tommy C, my girl Gabby AF, check out her podcast. And my man Raphael, my numbers guy. Producer man always behind the scenes. And intern Dan doing a great job. I'm the coach. We'll see you next Monday night right here live for the last word only. Where? Yes, on Stadium. Have a great night.